Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, Tiana's Bayou Adventure had a star-studded opening. Take a ride with Imagineers on the new attraction. Lewis's Critter Club also debuted.
Deadpool is back for the holidays. A Disney Plus resort discount is available. Run Disney details announced. We talk about the history of candy canes and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Well, hello there. Welcome to our unbirthday party. For your safety, please be sure to stay listening with your hands, arms, feet, and ears inside the podcast. And please, do give Tag and Teresa easier trivia questions. Well, it seems DL Weekly is about to begin. Have a most wonderful time. Perhaps tea time.
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of November 20th, 2024. I'm Tig Bushman.
And I'm Teresa Urban. We would like to thank everyone who supports the show, but this week we would like to give a special shout out to Michael V, Devin O, Olivia M, and Jean B for your continued support. If you would like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat, plus a bunch of other fun perks, head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Well, last Friday, Tiana's Bayou Adventure officially opened to the public. There was a star-studded opening with the voice of Tiana, Anika Nani Rose, the voice of Lewis, Michael Leon Woolley, and the voice of Mama Odie, Jennifer Lewis, in attendance. There was a purple carpet leading into New Orleans Square. The Jambalaya Jazz Band joined them, along with Princess Tiana and Lewis, dancing to swinging melodies. Anika and Jennifer performed with composer and singer-songwriter PJ Morton on the Mark Twain for the official dedication of the attraction.
How incredible would this event have been to be at? It looked like so much fun. All of the photos that the Disney Parks blog shared, just everybody just looks so excited and so happy to be there. The Mark Twain looks gorgeous in the shot shared as well. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I wish they would have filmed Jennifer Lewis and Michael Leon Woolley going down the bayou, because there's a really fun photo of them on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I would have loved to be in that log with them to experience that. They did. I bet you they just looked like they were having so much fun.
Yeah. How could you not? Tia Mowry was also there posing with Princess Tiana and stopped by Tiana's Palace, along with Yvette Nicole Brown and Jamie Camel. Lots of people hanging out for this opening. Who'd have thought all these fun celebrity people would be there for this opening?
I love that they made this such a celebration.
Yeah. I feel like the cast has been really involved in this attraction, so I feel like, because they've done promos, they've done things where they came and saw their animatronics. I think they reprised their roles as the voices in the attraction and everything, so it's kind of cool that it seems like the cast has like a stake in this, right? Like they are for it.
Well, the thing that's so fun to me, and for me this was unexpected, because it's not like, well, this is the second Tiana's Bayou Adventure to open and debut. So you'd think like the big party would have been at Walt Disney World, since that was the first version of the attraction that was open. So I just wasn't expecting this much pomp and circumstance and fanfare. But I love it. I absolutely love that they did it. The purple carpet looked so cool. They had extra props kind of around, even creeping into like Frontierland for this event. And it looked and sounded really cool. Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen were at the event, meeting and greeting with folks, as well as Lewis. It would have been so fun if they could have somehow brought Mama Odie and like Ray to life for the meet and greet event too, but they did not. You can only visit them in the attraction. Oh, no, you can't even visit Ray in the attraction. You can visit Mama Odie in the attraction, though. Rest in peace, Ray.
I would just like to say that the reason that they did this at Disneyland is because Disneyland is better. I think that our listeners will all agree.
That's exactly it then. Well, if you want to experience an attraction with an Imagineer, there is a perfect video on YouTube for you. Imagineers rode Tiana's Bayou Adventure and talked about the behind-the-scenes information and unique details. They had a blast experiencing their hard work over the last few years to transform Splash Mountain into the new Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
They also know that it is a very wet attraction because all of them are wearing ponchos
Yes, they
and
are.
hats and various things. This one gentleman here, he is like fully done. But what a cool, like, it's nice that there's Imagineers that they are able to make a video and be able to post it on the internet to kind of, you know, a lot of times we experience their attractions that they've created and we don't get a lot of like them in it and experiencing it and telling us about it, other than like, you know, some type of interview where they're standing outside of it or something. So it's really cool, I think, that they're doing more of this stuff and posting it online, because why not? And some of this stuff, I feel like they should expand on some of this and make it like a Disney Plus special of like bringing Tiana's Bayou Adventure to life or something.
I was thinking the same thing, because this like reminds me of the behind the scenes that we've gotten on Disney Plus for films and different TV shows, or Disney Plus series is coming to life, and kind of the behind the scenes there. So I love that they've been doing that with Walt Disney Imagineering's current stuff. It's all been coming out onto YouTube, which is a plus, because then it's available for everyone, not just folks that have Disney Plus subscriptions. But I would love, like you said, to see something kind of expanded, like the continued Imagineering story or something, to kind of go behind the scenes and get more of these Imagineer stories.
I just realized, too, that the last time we had a new We Call It Imagineering episode was 4 months ago. Sorry, 4 months ago.
It's been a while.
So I'm like, come on, man, where's the new one?
We want more. We want more.
Yeah, well, maybe they aren't in a spot that they can talk, but maybe we'll get a bunch with the new stuff.
Maybe it was so popular, because I'm looking at the views on these videos that they have recently. They're pretty darn high, crazy views. Maybe they were testing the waters to see if there was enough of an audience that'd be interested in watching these things. Maybe our dreams are coming true, Tag, and perhaps something will be coming to Disney Plus. I'm going to just put that out into the universe and wish upon a star.
Yeah, there's worse things you could put out into the universe, right? Well, Lewis's Critter Club opened a couple days early in Bayou Country last week. The shop is themed as a theater for the bands that you see inside of the attraction. Highlights include dressing rooms, a stage, and Mama Odie's box seat. There's also a lily pad lounge with drinks served with flies for the frog patrons.
Okay, so we talked about Raised Berets and the details and the theming inside of that new shop, and somehow they brought it up a couple more notches even for Lewis's Critter Club. It is so cute, so many fun details. There's a story, like there's such a story going on within this shop that if you take your focus off of the merch for a minute and kind of like take in your surroundings, it's amazing that it's a shop, but it's still telling a story. Well done, Imagineering. Well done.
Yeah, both of these shops are done really well. And, you know, I thought for sure that this was going to be a situation where they just rethemed it. It was going to just be like it was before, but just be themed to Tiana. But they added so many like little touches and little things that I think it's great.
There's come on. There's a barrel of fly juice at the little like frog cafe, the Lily Pad Cafe. And they're sipping frog juice martinis that are garnished with flies, or not, I'm sorry, fly juice martinis that are garnished with little flies on a stick, like you'd put olives on a stick for a martini. I mean, it's so cute.
Yeah. They did a great job. I think that, you know, one of the things people complain about is like, oh, well, Disney kind of did the whole, you know, gift shop at the exit of an attraction and all of this kind of stuff. Like, all they're trying to do is make a buck. I feel like if they can turn some of these, you know, merchandise experience into more themed things like this.
Yeah, like a themed experience.
It's better, yeah. Like, why not? I mean, that's what Disney's great at, right? Why not do more of that?
Agreed. Well, just when you thought Deadpool was gone and had left the parks, he is back for the holidays. This time he is reading holiday stories in his own unique way. And of course, adding in his commentary. Not only that, he is also in his own Santa Claus suit. You can catch Deadpool daily through the holiday season over in Disney California Adventure. It's, again, same place. It's over by the Hyperion Theater.
And it looks like from, I haven't watched this yet. I haven't had time this week. But I did see that somebody posted online a video of this, and Wolverine also makes an appearance. So Wolverine is also coming back for some of this. He's got this great little setup over there where he's got stockings hung on a fireplace.
He's got like a bright red tree.
Yeah, like how freaking cool is that? I also think I saw a picture that, there's some little Wolverines.
Little figurines, little action figures on his tree.
I am here for this. I love it. I want Deadpool for every holiday. I want to see him here for Valentine's. I want to see him here for St. Patrick's Day, for Easter, for the 4th of July, just everything. Come on. I don't know what's happening, but it looks awesome. Anyway,
it looks very, very entertaining. I'm so, it must have been crazy popular that they're like, we gotta keep up this momentum and just go for it for the holiday season as well. But man, it's so fun. We haven't been able to catch one of these shows yet ourselves. So if you have been lucky enough to go see Deadpool and Wolverine in the park for story time, especially, let us know your thoughts. And if it really is as amazing and hilarious in person as what we imagine it to be from watching videos and seeing the different... Sorry, Tag's still watching a video. And
riding his little unicorn.
Right, his exit was with his unicorn. Riding his little unicorn. But let us know what you think if you've been able to see this.
Oh, man. The cast members that put this show on must just have a blast. Anyway, well, if you're a Disney Plus member and you want to go check this out for the holidays, there is a new discount for you. From now until December 17th, Disney Plus subscribers can get a 3-day, 1-park-per-day ticket for $330, which is valid from November 18th through December 27th. The ticket is valid for 13 days after its first use, or on December 27th, whichever comes first. You could add park hopping or Lightning Lane multipass for an additional fee. Be sure to sign in with your email address that is associated with your Disney Plus account to make sure that you can get that discount.
This is so fun and exciting, and the best part is this is a Disneyland specific deal. I feel like we rarely get big Disneyland specific promos, especially when it's like linked up with, something more overarching like Disney Plus. Usually if they do something like this, it's Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So I thought this was so fun that it's Disneyland specific. Plus, like Tag mentioned, it's over the holiday season, which is one of the more spendy times to go and one of the busier times of the year to go too. So, and if you're a Magic Key holder, this is a great option to take advantage of one of these ticket deals because there's a lot more blackout dates during the holiday season. So if you're trying to go for the holidays, be sure to check the link in our show notes to take advantage of this deal.
For 3 days, for $330, I think that there's so much going on for the holiday season that is a steal, because you've got the stuff we just talked about, Deadpool. We've got Tiana's Bayou Adventure just open. You've got all of the holiday entertainment, the parades, and everything, just everything. I'm trying to think of stuff you don't have to spend extra for.
Oh, sure.
But all of that stuff together, great time to go.
Well, the 2025 Run Disney Half Marathon theme has been announced. For 2025, villains are the focus of the races. The races will take place from September 4th through 7th, 2025. Over the 4 days, yoga, kids races, a 5K, 10K half marathon, and of course, a challenge will all be available. Representing the 5K will be Ursula, the 10K is Cruella, and the half marathon is Maleficent. The challenge, which can be completed by running in the 10K and half marathon, is none other than Pain and Panic from Hercules. Registration opens November 26th for Club Run Disney Gold and Platinum members, and on December 3rd to general public.
I feel like Disney has finally come around to the fact that villains are popular, and they're starting to put villains stuff all the time. So we had Oogie Boogie Bash, which was really great for villains. They announced that new Villains Land out in Disney World, and now for our Run Disney event at Disneyland, we have villains again. Is there any villain that's not represented here that you kind of wish would be represented, or do you like what we got here?
I think it's a good mix. We got a lot of the classic villains. I especially love that it's pain and panic representing the challenge. I don't know why that one kind of threw me because, right, we've got the leading lady villains for all the other races, and then we've got the sidekick villains for the. But I think it makes total sense because there's two of them, and it's two race. The challenge is two races, so love it. The artwork that has been released to go kind of along with each of the different races is super well themed to each of the villains and very, very fun.
Oh, Captain Hook is the mascot for the kids' races.
There you go.
So I left that one out, but
I love it though because it's the fall races, villains themed, makes total sense for the spooky season.
Well, as we predicted last week, the walls came down from Magnolia Park in New Orleans Square. This is the area between the Haunted Mansion and Tiana's Palace. The area looks great with a relocated popcorn cart back by the New Orleans Square train station, open walkways with nicely themed concrete, an updated bandstand, and new gorgeous-looking lighting.
This looks wonderful. We talked about this quite a bit on our live stream this past weekend. If you haven't already, go ahead to our YouTube page to check it out. We share different photos and video clips from other creators, and man, it looks, I feel it didn't turn out 100% like the concept art, which I feel is really never the case, but this was a plus. As sad as I was for our big, beautiful trees to have had to go, it does make more sense because it really, really appears to have opened that area up. It's almost like it's the inverse now of what it was before. Like where the fountain was in the middle and where kind of all the congestion from the Haunted Mansion overflow queue always seemed to happen to be in is now just this big, nice, wide open space.
Before I can say anything, thoughts on the ground.
Oh, yes. The other thing that was a huge plus was we have like themed concrete again back here, which you all know how much I'm a fan of a good themed concrete. It's like almost like cobbles. They look like stone, like giant cobblestone type looking here. But it looks like it's visual and it's not actually rough terrain, which will still be great for folks with strollers and wheelchairs and all those things to make sure that they're having, a nice smooth ride and aren't having wheels get stuck places, but it looks super nice. We did get a couple of new trees planted back into this area, which I need to make sure to highlight. And they're not like baby trees. They're really healthy, good sized trees that they planted back in the area. So although those trees, we just need to take a moment for those trees. I loved those trees back there so much.
Yeah,
these will get there
too.
though.
Yeah.
These new trees will get there. They seem like they're the same types of trees. I'm not an arborist. I don't know if it's exactly the same trees or not, but they still have that same like feel, if that makes sense.
You've ruined me because now every time a new area opens, the first thing I look at is the ground because I'm like, oh, is Teresa going to be happy with this one?
Is it
and
themed?
I think so. And when they opened Bayou Country, all of that stuff has some nice themed pathways too.
It looks like mud.
But big fan.
No,
big
I know,
fan.
I like it.
The lighting in this area, during our live stream, I actually was like, oh, I wonder if anybody's put up any nighttime videos because everybody's taking video and photo during the day, and I wanted to see night. This area looks great. It really blends well between the mansion and this area and Tiana's Palace, where before it kind of felt like Tiana's Palace was its thing and the mansion was its thing.
That's true.
And now it kind of seems like it flows a little bit better.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I'm hoping that this fountain-looking thing, it looks like there's actually stuff, David from Fresh Baked has put the camera in the thing, and there is stuff in there to make it a working fountain, so let's hope that happens. I don't know why, but it seems like Disneyland always has trouble getting fountains to continue to go. It seems like we always have weird problems.
The thing that I think is cool, because I want to kind of continue on what you were saying with how this is a really nice way to blend like the area of the mansion and Tiana's Palace together. The thing that's cool is as you kind of get closer to the Haunted Mansion and you go up to the newly built wall that is the outside of the extended queue, the elements that the Imagineering put on this wall are like, they have like a hint of creepy or like a hint of mansion feeling to them. And I think that was really well done because they're more of a Gothic style, which obviously goes very well with the Haunted Mansion, but not too creepy. Like they feel out of place, and it almost does kind of tie in with like just kind of the old Gothic style that you might see in New Orleans architecture and design on stuff too. I think they did a really nice job. The other thing I'm hoping, another big thing with this, we forgot to mention here, was the popcorn cart has now moved. It used to be at the front near the main walkway of this area. They've actually pulled it back by the entrance to the train station, which I think makes a heck of a lot of sense, especially when you've got popular popcorn bucket releases happening and you get those nice long lines of folks waiting to purchase their popcorn buckets. You now have space for that. Whereas when the popcorn bucket was butt up to the main walkway and kind of almost cornered with the little side walkway that everybody would have to use to get to and from the train station and to and from the backside of New Orleans Square there, because, right, the poor fountain and the rest of that area was always consumed by Haunted Mansion overflow. You don't have that bottleneck over there anymore. It's nice and wide open, and so your popcorn line doesn't impede traffic flow, doesn't make what was a pinch point an even tighter pinch point. Makes a heck of a lot of sense. I think really, really well done. I'm excited to see it in person.
Me too.
Well, on the other side of the mansion, the walls have also come down around the carriage house near the exit to the attraction. Exterior details are continuing to be added as the opening gets closer. The extended queue for the Haunted Mansion is still under construction and mostly behind walls, but it's looking great and even has a really well done new music loop that guests can hear now.
Yeah. So one of the things we talked about a little bit on our live stream this weekend too was the area that we can currently kind of from the Magnolia Gardens area look into from that area into the queue. If you didn't tell me from a couple of these photos that this was new, I would not know that, because the trees and plants and foliage all look like they've been there for a long time and has grown up fairly well, and looks like it's doing a really good job providing a lot of shade for guests. There's going to be some themed areas it looks like that they're still kind of working on for the queue. I'm curious. So on the live stream, we talked about this, and then I watched David's Fresh Baked video, his construction video from yesterday, and I was trying to figure out, okay, you come in the front gates of the mansion like you always did, and he was saying that you turn to the left and you kind of go to this new queue area, and then you wrap back around, and then we assumed that like you'd be in that back section, and then you maybe wouldn't come and hit the front like where you do now, like where the carriage and everything is. But I was looking, and I think what's going to happen is I think you come in and you take that left right past the gate. I think you come down here and go this way, and then you just go back out to that front section, and then you'll loop through the back part.
Yeah, because this is just an extended queue that they built out there. Well, and the other thing too, I didn't put this together until after our live stream, but the big structure in the back that reminds me of like a glass like garden.
Like a greenhouse.
Like a greenhouse, yep. That reminds me of that is the entrance to the elevator.
So that's not a queue space.
I thought it was a queue space, but I'm not sure it's actually attached. And it lines up, if you look, it looks like it's a straight shot from there back to where the elevator is.
Interesting. That seems like a lot of space, though.
But I think that's a shaded, well, it's an elevator, though. So you got to, you're going to have, I'm sure, a backup.
Sure.
Of people, because I don't know how big the elevator is and how many people they can get in. So time to get people up and down that elevator, you're going to have folks waiting. And so it's nice. It's a nice shaded area. But look, when you're looking at it from like the train station angle, it lines right up with where that new elevator is.
See, this is what I'm thinking is that, see this like little area? I feel like that's going to be the entrance to the thing, and this is going to be more extended queue. Although it's hard to tell. You're right, it does line up.
Yeah, we'll find out when the walls come down.
Which I hope will be soon. But
I hope so too.
Did you also, we didn't talk about this, David went through the train tunnel and finally it's open to look into Tiana's, which is good. But it looks like it's kind of like, there's like a scrim or something in front of it where it seems like things are a little blurry, and because of some of the theming, it looks like that you can't see as well into it as you used to be able to when it was
It doesn't appear to be as open as when Splash was there. But again, this is us trying to gauge this by watching a YouTube video.
Sure.
I did see Fresh Baked had I think it was on their Instagram stories, where they went through And Liz, David's wife, was like, oh, that like, she kind of, her initial response in that little video was she didn't think it was that bad. Like, it wasn't that distorted. So maybe it's one of those things when you go through the train station and are peeking in, you can see around better than when it's just the video and you're kind of whooshing by.
That makes sense.
Again, holding off final judgment until we are able to experience it ourselves.
Let's talk about the carriage house, though. We didn't really talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So carriage house, we, again, talked about this quite a bit during our live stream, but I'm liking where this is at. So to me right now, I know a lot of people are worried, but to me right now, this was construction finishing their stuff up, and it's going to be handed over to Imagineering now. So I think we're going to start getting more of the themed decor elements to the exterior that we can see coming in soon. We were talking about this. We think that they probably wanted to get those construction walls down prior to the kickoff opening of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So we think they kind of, I don't want to say rushed the timeline, but took the walls down when construction was finalized and not when the space itself was finalized, if that makes sense.
Well, in David's video, he took this video on the day that all the walls came down. And then he was saying that just a little bit, the day later that he went over there, that they have already added some theming elements that weren't there, which was good because we were kind of worried about that. But see, it's got like some little things up here by
like
the top.
Flowers drying up there. Yep.
Yeah.
That's new.
And there's some stuff on the other side as well that's adding that. So, you know, people were worried about this, and you were right that they're going to add more theming elements as time goes on. They're just not done yet. And so they're probably doing this stuff at night, obviously, because now they don't have the walls to kind of block all of that. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what I'm really curious about, because we've seen all these shops that have been redone lately. Is true. What is the brand new built from scratch type of shop going to be like in here? So that's going to be really cool. I'm excited for.
Agreed.
I up, down, touch the ground. I think of things to chew, like honey and milk and chocolate. With a hefty, happy appetite, I'm a hefty, happy poo. A rumbly in my tumbly means it's time for snacks.
Well, this week in Snack Chat, we are going to be discussing I'll be honest, one of our not top of our list. We don't always mean like intentionally go there locations. We're talking about Alien Pizza Planet.
You know what's funny? This used to be a location that I really actually liked. I thought that the pasta there that they had, I thought was really good. If you're looking for a slice of pizza, I thought it was a pretty decent option as well. Where I think that this location has kind of gone off the rails is after adding mobile order. Because I feel like before, it was kind of a buffet line where you'd just go and grab what you wanted, and then you'd go to the register, and you'd check out, and then you'd go sit. And now it seems like it's one of the more confusing mobile order setups, because you go in, you walk up, you get your thing, and then you go sit down. There's not really like like the regular order for it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's
there's not really a good flow. The transition for how this restaurant was originally set up with mobile order it wasn't originally set up for mobile order, and it just kind of doesn't have as much of a flow. And I feel like the capacity to get food out, it has to still be good, but it doesn't, the consumer going in there feels like it's a little more crunched than it used to be. But the other thing too, I'll be honest, I can't think of anything that I've had at Alien Pizza Planet that I ate and was immediately like wowed by.
Sure.
So to me, the food there is not there's better food you can find in the parks, but if pizza and pasta is what you're craving, this would be one of the options for you to go check out in the park. So starting with pasta, we've got a pizza pasta. So if you can't decide, I guess, between pizza and pasta, you can have the pizza pasta, which comes with Italian sausage, mushrooms, and olives, with chef's choice of pasta, topped with pesto, tomato sauce, garnished with basil, and shaved Parmesan cheese.
They also have a countdown chicken fusilli, which is fusilli pasta, topped with seasoned grilled chicken, a Parmesan pesto cream sauce with sun-dried tomatoes, and shaved Parmesan cheese. I believe this is one that I like to get there.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also, you can get the countdown shrimp fusilli as well. And then last pasta option on the regular menu is a chicken sesame ginger vegetable noodle dish, which is grilled chicken and stir-fried vegetables served over noodles, tossed with sesame ginger sauce and garnished with cilantro and scallions.
That sounds interesting. I'd like to see like a photo of that. I should look that up. Under the pizza, they have a chicken al pastor pizza, which is right now one of the special pizzas that they have that you can get a slice of, which is a spiced red sauce, mozzarella cheese, roasted corn, and al pastor marinated chicken garnished with crema and tomatillo sauce, drizzle, and cilantro.
And the classics, a mega pepperoni slice, as well as a Mott's 114 cheese pizza. So you can get pepperoni or cheese.
I like that one of their plant-based options is the brownie, topped with a chocolate ganache and a sesame ginger vegetable noodle, which is stir-fried vegetables served over noodles, tossed with sesame ginger sauce and garnished with cilantro and scallions. So the same thing as the other one, it just doesn't have the chicken into it. They also have a couple different salads.
Yeah, there's an apple and pecan salad, mixed greens with frisee, candied pecans, Granny Smith apple, and feta cheese crumbled, served with maple dressing.
This actually kind of sounds good now that you've said that.
Really?
Yeah. There's a Centurion chicken Caesar salad, which is a grilled chicken breast atop a crisp romaine lettuce tossed in Caesar dressing with croutons and Parmesan cheese. Sounds like a regular old Caesar salad.
Good old classic.
Yeah, you can get some sides there. There's a satellite salad, which is just mixed greens, tomatoes, carrots, and served with dressing. There's some Doritos nacho cheese tortilla chips, Lay's tortilla chips, Funyuns, Cheetos, and a garland bread served with zesty dipping sauce.
It looks like breadsticks.
Yeah, that's fair. Teresa was able to pull up on the mobile order the chicken sesame ginger vegetable noodles. It looks kind of like a lo mein kind of dish.
Pro tip, if you are someone that loves seeing, like if you're visual and need to see what the food looks like and not just, read the description, go in, pretend like you're going to do a mobile order. I'm doing it right now from home, so you don't even have to be scanned in and at the parks to do this. But for some reason, the mobile order version of the menu includes photos of all the items.
I don't know why they don't.
The regular menu does not, but the mobile order does.
They just like to make our life difficult.
Yeah. So pro tip, if you're a visual person, that's a great thing to do. So yeah. So I mean, for me personally, we kind of started this off this way, but yeah, Alien Pizza Planet's not something that I ever seek out. I'd say vast majority of trips we actually don't go there. The last couple of times I can think of that we've gone was because there was something on a seasonal menu or some sort of special that was available at Pizza Planet that brought us to that location, but there's nothing really off the regular menu that is a must get for item for us.
Now, as a young child,
that's true.
I would only eat spaghetti like anytime we went somewhere. Yeah. There is a space spaghetti with meatballs on the kids menu, as well as a kid-sized cheese pizza. If you have those kids,
I agree. I think 100% Alien Pizza Planet has its place, especially for like kids that are craving just kind of like the classics or like, the classic kid food, I guess. Would be a good way of saying it, And same thing I feel with over in DCA Boardwalk Pizza. Same thing. That's not really something that you and I necessarily seek out unless there's some sort of, specialty menu item that's going on with the season. That's why we'll go, but we won't just go just to grab a slice of pizza because we've got other favorites around the parks.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I think if Disney would if they would improve the mobile ordering situation
I think they should nix mobile ordering here like they did over at Rancho, how they same kind of setup at Rancho where it was of the, I don't know, want to say buffet style or how you want to talk, like what you want to call that style, but it makes way more sense and it feels like the flow is better without mobile order. So, and they had mobile order at Rancho. They took mobile order away. Perhaps one day they'll reverse and we won't have mobile order at Alien Pizza Planet.
The holidays are quickly approaching, and we'll be sending out postcards again this year to all of our supporters at every level. If you are currently a supporter on Patreon, please log in and make sure that your address is up to date so you get your card. If you would like to get a postcard from us, head on over to DLWeekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier to get on the list.
DL Weekly announces the boarding of the Trivia Express, nonstop star speeder service to the moon of Endor. All passengers, please prepare for immediate boarding.
Welcome to Trivia Land, where we have an awesome deep dive that I went on today. Are you ready for some diving?
I don't know. Do we have scuba gear?
Nice.
So, Tag, he was talking to me about this before you came over, and it's at least
Cheaters.
tasty, I guessed. I said, can I know the
Tasty?
topic? Yes. He's like, I did a deep dive. He wasn't saying any specifics. And then I was like, can I guess it? He's like, it's something I love.
No, I said it was the best thing about Disneyland.
Oh.
And
And
it
something
exists?
Vern loves.
Anyway, let's get there.
All right. Well, this deep dive was actually inspired by a listener-submitted question. So you're going to get 4 regular round questions and a bonus question. Your first question is the listener-submitted question from listener Donna S. Who brought the churro to Disneyland?
Who?
The delivery guy.
Like the specific person. Dang it. I feel like
a specific person brought or introduced the churro to Disneyland.
I feel like I heard this, like the why churros, like why churros are a thing in Disneyland, and I don't remember what the origin story was that I.
The only thing that I know for sure about food at Disneyland
Doritos?
is the Doritos were created at
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah, no, I know that one too, but
Which, if you would have told me that a few years ago, I would have been like, that is incorrect. That cannot be the true origin.
it is kind of wild. It is, yeah. It is one of those crazy weird facts.
No,
I don't know.
They haven't been around as long as we thought. Because I remember having a question before of like, when did churros show up? And I thought maybe like the 60s or 70s, but wasn't it like the 90s?
Yeah, like 80s or 90s or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Vern will let us know.
I'm sure, but who brought them? That's the
don't know.
question. I'm going to stick with the delivery driver because I'm a smart
Delivery
butt.
driver?
Sure. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
I'm going to say Eisner, just because it's weird.
Eisner.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, so Tag's
Michael
saying
Eisner.
the delivery driver, and Teresa says Michael Eisner. Your second question, and this is from me. Just I love churros, as regular listeners of the show will know, and I always double check on all of our questions. And as I was doing that, I found myself in a rabbit hole, and I had to keep going. So all of our questions from here on are me in that rabbit hole. The person from the previous question first learned of the churro after trying one at what sport event in Long Beach?
Oh, lordy.
What's in Long Beach?
Sporting event
Volleyball?
in Long Beach.
No, Long Beach doesn't really have any good beaches, actually. They've got the port.
Surfing? I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
No.
Is there like a profession?
An event.
I feel like we're at a disadvantage since we're in the Midwest.
Sure.
If we were like California, Southern California folks, wait a minute, you should have some advantage here.
I was in Northern California, thank you.
There's probably some sort of, I don't even know.
That's like asking you in Wisconsin to know something about Louisiana.
I'm trying to think of like, I can't even think of a modern day sport that
It's a sporting event, you
associate-
said, Vern?
I specifically said sport event.
Sport.
event.
I don't know.
That makes me even more confused.
As a hint, you would not usually think of this on a beach. You'd more associate it with Indianapolis.
Racing. Car racing.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, car racing.
I would not also pair churros with car racing, but what do I know?
Can you be more
I'm-
specific than just saying
NASCAR?
car racing?
Is it NASCAR or is it Formula One? It's probably NASCAR because NASCAR is the Indianapolis 500, right?
Sports car racing.
Sport car.
Sports car racing? Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? You just added sport to the front of it?
Apparently that worked.
Tag, you're gonna...
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Draft behind
I'm
that car?
hopping in Teresa's
doing
sports
NASCAR?
car.
All right.
I mean, I think sport car and NASCAR are basically the same
I would
thing.
think
So
so.
if you want me to be specific, I'll say NASCAR, but
NASCAR. Okay. Your third regular round question. Where can you still find the original churro cart in Disneyland today?
The original churro cart.
The original Disneyland churro cart. I'm sure that there were other churro carts before Disneyland got one, but the original Disneyland churro cart still stands and is still in regular use and can be found where?
Is it still in regular use as a churro cart?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually got this information from a fairly recent YouTube video by Fresh Baked.
I feel like it's Frontierland.
Frontierland seems like that would be a good answer, but for some reason, my first gut instinct was the one in Town Square.
Oh, Town Square.
I'm probably wrong, but I don't know. It just feels right.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Frontierland.
Okay.
All right, so we're dividing our forces and going Town Square and Frontierland?
Yeah, I got out of her sport car.
All right.
She went to Frontierland and I went to Town Square.
He took the first exit.
Jumping out of that jump seat and taking your own path.
Yeah.
All right. And your fourth and final regular round question. The modern churro cart is powered by electricity. What was used to fuel the cooking in the original churro carts?
Propane, why not? I could see them having like a propane tank, like heating up stuff.
Yeah, I guess propane.
You could also say natural gas. You could also say like wood fire. You're getting really
Wood
weird.
fire.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking of all the ways you could heat something. People would just rub their hands together really quick with the churro in between.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
I feel like that's got, if it's not electricity, I would think that, yeah, it'd be like propane tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a trick question and they've always been electricity?
Oh, none of that now.
Yeah, none of that.
None of that. Oh, yeah, I guess propane.
We're just going to have to close down Trivia Land and rename it something else, like Bayou Country. So, what are you going with, propane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, you're going to fuel each other's tanks on propane.
I love how this has become a thing of like...
Yeah.
What terrible puns can be.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
So many merch opportunities. We could have like...
Hitch your wagon to your front. Yes.
Oh, boy.
All right, and your bonus question. Arguably, what is the best churro?
Classic.
Plain, which is classic.
Classic. All right.
Now, I have a question. If that's the bonus question, how are you adjudicating that?
You will find out when we
according to who?
get to the answers.
Okay.
So, listeners, how did you do listening at home?
No, wait.
Yeah, what?
Since Vern is the adjudicator,
Oh, no.
It's gonna be that-
It's going to be that nacho cheese churro.
Yes,
the chili cheese. Thank you.
chili cheese churro.
Chili cheese.
So
Yeah, it
if
was
you're the
What was
adjudicator,
it? Nacho cheese with the red hot fiery Cheeto thing.
if you're the
crunched on top.
adjudicator, that's what I'm going to say for that. If it's a normal person, it's the classic churro.
Oh, okay. So you're changing your answer to chili cheese churro?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Our answer is Vern's answer is chili cheese churro. Our answer is classic.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
a good way to put that.
All right. And regular listeners know exactly
Very
what they're
threading the needle.
referencing there. All right. Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you think Tag and Teresa did? Stick around until after the discussion, and we will all find out together.
Well, for this week's discussion topic, we are talking about the history of the, I guess I'm going to say infamous, Disneyland candy canes. These are wild. Like, I feel like this is a level of Disneyland fandom, nerddom that's like, it's like a sub-level. You got to be real crazy to know about the candy canes because it's kind of like it was more of an insider's like
Not anymore.
no thing. But yeah, I would say thanks to the internet, more people have learned about the candy canes and they've just been growing and growing in popularity.
Yeah. So where did this all start? Let's start with the history here. Since 1968. 1968 was the first year that Disneyland offered guests hand-pulled candy canes. So you could go to your local grocery store and pick up candy canes. That is not what Disneyland is selling.
No, in
at
fact,
all.
like most candy canes are made by machine. So in the candy cane at Disneyland's defense, that is one of the things that make these things so gosh darn special and why people kind of go nuts for them. But yeah, 56 years candy canes have been being made at the Disneyland Resort. And yeah, the texture, for me, the texture is what makes it. The texture is very different. It's much lighter and more airy. I'd say if you are someone that enjoys candy canes or mint products, they're somewhere between like a store-bought candy cane texture and those soft pillow mints, peppermint things that you get like that are wrapped.
Yeah, when
those, like traditional peppermint stick type things.
Yeah.
They're somewhere between those two textures is what the Disneyland candy cane is.
So we'll have it linked in the show notes, but if you're a visual person, we're going to talk about all the stuff that's in this video, but if you want to see it, there's a link that SnackChat has linked to the Disney Parks YouTube channel of a video from 2010, actually, of talking about making the candy canes and stuff. And I can tell you from what we've seen in the parks that they still make it this exact same way. Yes. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of work and effort and just muscle that goes into these things.
There is. So the candy canes actually start out as just a mixture of cornstarch, sugar, and water that they melt and combine together. They get it up to 313 degrees before it's ready for the next step. So specific. The thing that's also wild that they shared in this video is from start to finish, it only takes them 2 hours to make a batch of candy canes. Now, I don't know how many candy canes are made per batch, because that is one of the things, if you are someone that goes early and gets a spot in line to get a candy cane, you don't get it like right away at park opening. A lot of the times, even if you're in that first grouping, it's like maybe 10, 11 is when you get called back. And sometimes you don't get called back until later in the morning, mid-morning to mid-afternoon to come get your candy cane, because they're just cranking these things out.
Yeah. So the beginning, like Teresa was saying, they put some of the three ingredients together, and they put them into a candy making like copper pot, and they heat it up to 313 degrees, and then they dump it onto this table, for lack of a better word. If you've ever seen them make like fudge or anything, it's all kind of on this like candy table, and they just continuously, churn it or fold it into itself to let it kind of start to solidify a little bit, and it starts to get this kind of like golden color. And all of the bubbles, if you watch the video, when they pour it out, it seems like there's a ton of air in this thing, and as they work it, some of those bubbles and stuff seem to go away. It's like I said, this concoction, this gelatinous thing weighs quite a bit, so like they're doing quite a bit of effort churning this thing and moving it around. And I think I remember from the holiday tour, didn't they say that for making these, that like the room itself is also very hot?
Yes, the room itself is also very, very warm. They told us on the holiday tour the specific temperature, and I tried very hard to commit it to memory, but I've forgotten. But it was over 100 degrees, I want to say.
Yeah, there's too many numbers. By the way, if you ever go on that tour, if they just throw out how many different lights are on things and how many wreaths are around like just everything's numbers. Yeah, you can't remember it all.
It was crazy. So after the candy concoction has cooled a little bit, they break it off into sections, and they have the main piece of it is going to be the white color, but then they also have a red and a green color that they mix into the candy canes as well. But again, it's in thirds, not equal thirds. The majority of it is still that kind of golden hue, natural candy color that Tag was mentioning. The next step, though, after they've split it up.
I just want to say one thing. So when they cut this, it's just a giant pair of scissors.
Yes, it is.
It's like I would imagine like some special candy cutting tool, but it's just like a giant pair of scissors. It's just funny.
Candy cutting scissors.
That's true. That's true.
So then what they do to kind of make the golden candy kind of really come to life and really get its nice white shape is they pull it, and it's exactly what it sounds like. They put it on a hook, and they sit there and they manually pull it. What this does is it helps to crystallize the sugar, and it also is aerating the candy as well in this process.
Which gives it that light texture you love.
Gives it that light and airy texture that I really enjoyed. And when it's done, it is. There's no color actually added to it, but it is more of a true white after this process is done.
Which is crazy that it goes from like almost a clear to a gold to this white as they're working it. And I'll tell you, if you watch this video, it's a lot of work. It's like you're pulling it and then he's pulling it down from this hook. And my guess is, I don't know for sure, I haven't looked. I'm guessing, I'm almost certain that any time of the year when you walk by, you can see the hook in the window of the candy pass. I don't think they take it down when it's not candy cane making season. But this is just a lot. I'm watching this guy, and he has been at the Disneyland Resort for quite a few years, and man, he is just flinging that stuff around like crazy. So, and then they put the flavoring in. I don't know. I didn't catch if you had said that that's where they also put in the peppermint flavoring.
Oh, no, I missed that very, very important step.
Yeah. So as they're pulling it, that's also where they put in the peppermint flavoring, not into the red or the green, but into the white section.
And then the next part is really interesting. Tag and I were just fascinated by this, is how they kind of then take what is now the pure white, the red, and the green, and how they kind of form and shape it from there. Because the finished product of the Disneyland candy canes is swirled, and it's got this big red section and then these thinner green and green, red, green stripes, and they're very uniform, very beautiful. And it's like, how do they do this? Well, again, watch the video. It's magic. This video that we're talking about, it's only 2 minutes long, so I promise you have time to fit this into your day if this is something you're curious about. But they take the big white section, and he's kind of got it shaped into now like a cube at this point, and they layer on the stripes, and then they physically are pulling again the candy to then make it into like the small, inch in diameter
something
that the
like
finished product ends up being. They just kind of pull and pull and pull, and as they're pulling, they're twisting, and somehow I watched him do it. He explained it. It's still magic to me.
Yeah,
they come out so perfectly. But yeah, that's how they put the candy cane together. My mind is still just blown that it goes from the kettle to the finished product in 2 hours. To me, this seems like it would take so much longer, but these guys are also professionals.
I love the fact that when they are twisting it off, like you were just talking about, they pull it to a certain length and then they just cut it. And then he just kind of like
scissors.
Yeah. And he just kind of slides it down the counter to the next guy who makes it have that like hook shape to it. There's a form that they mold it around so that they're consistent. And then, of course, we have some pictures from our albums we were just looking at, too, of once they've cooled down a little bit and hardened, they put them in some nice bubble wrap because, of course, a lot of people don't want to have any problems with their candy cane breaking or being damaged or anything like that. So it's really nice that they are able to package it in such a way.
Yes. So the finished candy cane product is approximately 18 inches long and weigh about 5 ounces.
And they taste so good, right?
They're amazing. I feel like if you were a big Disneyland nerd, this is kind of like this was a Disney bucket list item for me, for us. I feel like this is kind of like a rite of passage for super Disneyland nerds to go through the experience of getting their first candy cane. I know we've talked about this multiple times because every time candy cane season and the holiday season comes up, we feel like we need to try and help folks that are interested in trying to get their own Disneyland candy canes. We like to try and give you, talk about our experiences as well as give tips as to, the things that we've noticed that made it a little easier or things to kind of be prepared for or to think ahead about. But Tag, what are some of your thoughts, tips, tricks for folks that want to?
Well, I think the biggest one we talk about all the time is if you are not emotionally attached to getting your candy cane inside Disneyland Park, but you want one of these candy canes from the resort, go to California Adventure. Trolley Treats inside of Disney California Adventure on Buena Vista Street always, in our experience, has had the shorter line, the quicker return. They're the same candy canes. They're just made in the two different kitchens. They're the exact same thing. So get to the park early because all these people that want these want to get in there early. And then make sure that you go, you get in line early, you get in, and then go directly to Trolley Treats, or if you're at Disneyland, to the Candy Kitchen, and get in line. There's usually somebody with a sign or people are already starting to line up, so you kind of have an idea. And then they'll usually, it seems like the few years we've been there, they've changed it. Our first year, they gave us they took our phone number and they gave us like a raffle ticket kind of situation.
With a number.
We've had situations where there was a QR code you would scan and put your information in, and you get your text, and you'd show the text when you come back. And then what was the last time?
Most recently, because I think the QR code, part of the issue there was people, since it was a QR code, people walking past were able to join the wait list without actually waiting in the physical line like you were supposed to. So the last year we did it, which was 2023. So we've been able to get a candy cane 2021, 2022, and 2023. And in 2023, there was several cast members at the end of the line, and you'd meet up with them, and they'd manually enter you into the virtual queue so that you'd be able to get in. 2022, I think we snagged a candy cane in Disneyland. Yeah, we saw both ways in Disneyland and DCA, and they had gotten smarter. And Disneyland was the first place we saw the QR code, and DCA, they actually had a much smaller version of the QR code, so you couldn't as easily just walk past and be able to scan the QR code to hop in line. So it might be slightly different, but it is a virtual queue. I'd say in our experience, Disneyland, yes, is definitely the longer wait in the physical line. But once you get through that, I want to say the last time that I got a candy cane, I want to say I waited in that physical line maybe 10 minutes. It was kind of like freakishly fast. And even prior, other times at DCA, it's like 20 to 30 minutes. And it's, again, right at park opening. So there's really, I never felt like I was missing out on, but I didn't get to rope drop this or that or the other thing. So, that's just me. And the priority for me was to grab one of those candy canes.
Yeah, but you're rope dropping a candy cane. I mean, that's kind of good.
I am rope dropping a candy cane. That's true. We've rope dropped more bizarre things, and that is okay. But the other thing too is then they text you when your candy cane's ready, or when your time frame to go get the candy cane is up. Last year, something happened, and I don't remember if I didn't get the notification. I got the text, but my phone didn't actually buzz at me. Somehow I missed that I had gotten the message, and they do say that you have a 1 hour window to return to go grab your candy cane, and after that, you may not get it. And somehow I missed the message, and I was outside of that hour window, but went up and explained to the cast member they still had candy canes available, so it wasn't an issue. So it is possible that maybe later in the afternoon, it doesn't hurt to ask. Maybe they have candy canes that are unclaimed and you might score one, but typically you have to be in
Don't rely on it.
Yeah, don't rely on that for sure. But typically you have to be in that mobile wait list to be able to secure a candy cane. It looks like your callback time could be as late as 3 p.m. in our experience. Apparently we just happen to be in the first couple of groups because we've always gotten them prior to noon.
Yeah. The other thing to note is they are limited to one candy cane per guest per day.
Yes.
And the very first year we were waiting in line, there was some candy cane pros in front of us. And they did say that, if you have your kids count as a guest.
Yeah.
So you could buy a candy cane for you. Let's say you have 3 children with you and your 3 children.
Mm-hmm. So when you go through the mobile wait, that's another thing I want to mention too, is they ask you how many people, how they only put one person, how many people are in your party. So they only put, if it's Tag and I, they'd only put one of our names on the list. You say, 2. And then, but when I go back, both of us need to go back to the Candy Cane Palace. I cannot go pick up my candy cane and Tag's candy cane without Tag. You have to, both individuals need to be there for the pickup.
Yeah. In 2023, the candy canes, after tax and everything, came to about $23.69 a piece. SnackChat does think that the prices will be higher this year. It does seem like because the popularity, the prices have been going a little bit higher on them. Plus, they just take a lot of work. So, I can imagine that just the labor alone.
Yeah. Magic Key discounts do not apply. There are no additional discounts that you're able to get on the candy canes. So the price is the price. I don't know. Again, you got to remember, some people might be like, what? Almost $25 for a candy cane? That's crazy. Again, you got to remember the candy cane is 18 inches. It's a mammoth candy cane. I was I don't know why, but in my brain, I never realized how large the candy canes were until we were handed our candy canes those first times. And I was like, oh, because I don't know. I grew up with much smaller candy canes. So, but yeah, I don't know. Delicious. The other thing that we noticed too, somehow we managed to travel back to Wisconsin with them safely. They did not crack or break, which I think was its own small miracle. And they're good for months. Like they're best. The closer you eat them to when they were freshly made is like when they're the best, but they're still very delicious. They just get a little denser, I guess, as time goes on. But that first candy cane, I was like, thought it was the most special thing, and I wanted to like save and savor it for as long as I possibly could. So I was still eating that candy cane a couple months later. I will admit that.
I mean, they're big enough that you're not going to eat. I mean, unless you're crazy, you're not going to sit there and eat the entire candy cane in one sitting.
Well, and this last trip, we wanted to I think we actually busted into it at the parks because we're like, we want to try this as close to as it being made as we possibly can. And yes, that first day, it is so light and so airy. Yeah. So delicious. I'm a big fan of the candy canes. I think every holiday season, if the stars align and the dates are right, I'll try and always grab a candy cane for myself. I know Tag kind of felt more like maybe more of a one and done. Like
I had it once.
Yep, you were able to check it off the list. Good. You were able to do it, but I'm a candy cane person. I'm a peppermint candy person, so this is like extra.
I would recommend if you're a fan of the parks and you like candy cane, like the peppermint, you should do this sometime in your multiple visits if you get that opportunity. I would do this at least once. Even me who thought it was just okay, I'm glad I did it for the one time. It was just funny because I want to say last year Teresa's like, oh, I'm going to get another candy cane because we happen to be here on the dates, and I was just like, you've already had it twice. Why do you need another one? She's like, but they're so good. I'm like,
they're so good.
I thought they were good, but I'd rather get in the park and do something else.
They were so good, and we were there with my family. My family had never had a Disneyland candy cane, so I wanted to try and snag one for them. But the crazy thing was, you and I walked into the park at the same time. Mm-hmm. I went into the candy cane line. You went over to Smoke Jumpers to go get breakfast. Yeah. And I was done and through the candy cane line before you had finished your breakfast. Yeah. It was quick.
Yeah. Which I think they're getting better at all of this stuff for sure.
Either that or we just have remarkable timing.
Maybe. But it's right when the park opens.
Candy cane luck was on our side. So if you are someone who has either gotten a candy cane or is wanting to get one of the Disneyland candy canes, email us your thoughts. Do you think they're worth it? Do you think it's not worth it? Has it become a holiday tradition for you and your family if you're local? Is this something on your Disney bucket list? Or is this maybe something you didn't know you needed to add to your Disney bucket list that now you have, thanks to
Or are you one of the people that have had it and you're just okay?
And you're one and done. We want to know. Email in at feedback@dlweekly.net.
We first spoke to our friends over at Where in the Park back on episode 265. Amanda and Kevin create amazing and fun seek and find scavenger hunt games in theme parks all over the United States. Whether you want a challenge at the Disneyland Resort or to explore new places like Universal Studios, Knott's Berry Farm, or SeaWorld, there are fun game packs for everyone, from beginner to expert. Where in the Park is perfect for a first-time visit to experience the small details, to make the parks wonderful places to visit, or to challenge yourself on your 1,000th visit to see how well you know small details. Where in the Park is for you. Visit the link in our show notes to get started. There are some promos coming up here from the 17th, which was just a few days ago, to the 23rd. There is a 25% off sale on their scratch-off versions. Woohoo! And then for November 29th through December 6th, that's their Black Friday Cyber Week sale, which is 20% off site-wide. So make sure you get your order in by December 10th. That's the last day for regular shipping to get it by Christmas. So head on over to them. Make sure you use the promo code.
The promo code you want to use is DLWeekly to also get 10% off all of your regular orders. But right now, the website just has even better discounts for all their little promos they're running.
It's okay. I'll be the only weekly tier without an answer. Make sure you send your questions to Producer James or Producer Vern at trivia@DLWeekly.net.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, where we're going to find out the answers to tonight's churro questions. Tag, Teresa, how do you think you did?
Not well. I don't know if we got a single one right, Tag.
It depends. I don't know if it's Vern. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, let's find out.
Maybe we got the bonus, but the rest of it's kind of.
We'll see.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Well, your first question from listener Donna S. Who brought the churro to Disneyland? Tag said the delivery driver.
Technically, I'm right.
You are.
And Teresa said Michael Eisner. The correct answer that I was looking for was cast member Jim Lohman.
Ooh, way to go, Jim.
Food
Good
and
job,
beverage
Jim.
manager in Fantasyland, he introduced the churro for the opening of Videopolis in 1985.
Oh, so I bet you our churro cart location is wrong, too.
Well, maybe, because is there a churro cart back there?
No, but there's one in there's a Fantasyland churro cart, though.
Anyway,
We'll find out.
You will find
we're
out.
getting our cart before our churro here.
Mm-hmm.
Your second question.
The cinnamon before the sugar.
The person from the previous question, who we now know is Jim Lohman, first learned of the churro after trying one at what sport event in Long Beach?
Can I just clarify something really quick?
Sure.
I thought this question was that Donna S. first learned about churros from a sporting event. So that's where I was like, because you're just like the person from the last thing. So I was thinking I was thinking to myself, why would he not just say Donna S? I didn't put it together until you just said it. So it doesn't change anything. But I was just imagining Donna S. out at Long Beach discovering a churro.
Okay. Well,
That's awesome.
This makes a lot more sense, though.
So, nope, for clarification, it was the person being Jim Lohman, which I couldn't say Jim Lohman's name
Sure.
because it was the person from the question.
That's fair.
Yep.
I get it now. I just wanted you to know what I was
It wouldn't
thinking.
have mattered for us just sitting here, but I didn't want to ruin it for the listeners because they might still be musing on who it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, first learned of the churro after trying one at the sport event in Long Beach. After some heavy hinting, you realized that it was a sport car, but it was not NASCAR. It was the 1985 Long Beach Grand Prix.
Oh.
I'm going to vote that sport car racing is a half point.
Wow.
And
Wow.
while watching the Long Beach Grand Prix, Jim was so impressed by the churro that he tracked down the vendor, J&J Snack Foods, and he asked them to bring the churro to Disneyland. And the
Good
rest,
job,
of course,
Jim.
is history.
It's people like Jim that make Disneyland great.
Yes. Your third question. Where can you still find the original churro cart in Disneyland today? Teresa's saying that it's in Frontierland, and Tag's saying it's in the town square. The correct answer that I was looking for was Frontierland.
Ooh, look at you.
The story goes that Jim was walking through Frontierland with the churro cart and the fresh churros in it, and the line of people just followed him along until he parked it and started selling.
Oh, wow.
And that same churro cart still sits in, give or take, the same position.
Nice.
And it's never left.
Yep.
Now I want a churro, dang it.
Your fourth and final regular round question. The modern churro cart is powered by electricity. What was used to fuel the cooking in the original churro carts? Both of you saying propane. The correct answer that I was looking for was propane tanks.
I was going to say pixie dust. Oh.
Yes.
Well, I figured it had to, right?
Yep. Due to the popularity of the churro, many carts went through as many as 6 or more tanks of propane a day.
Wow.
And it wasn't long before they switched over to using electricity for cost-effectiveness purposes.
Wow. Well, plus, I imagine, okay, hold on, everybody. I gotta
Safety.
swap the canister out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's probably safer to do the electricity, too, than to have, tanks of propane around.
Mhm.
Yep. And your bonus question,
Oh, here we go.
arguably, what is the best churro?
Arguably.
Now, I want you to see, I have not edited, I have not touched my screen, I have not moved my computer,
Okay.
and just see that I am reading off the screen.
Okay.
You might think I'm looking for the chili cheese churro, but the correct answer is the churro that is in your hand.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that was
Sneaky.
That's what I originally wrote before you even said chili cheese churro.
But would you, if you had to pick one, would you say the chili cheese churro?
Yeah, that one, I still stand by what I've always said, that is going down as what I feel is one of the most innovative and delicious churros I've ever had. But I really believe that the churro that's in my hand is the best churro I could have.
So now, if you only could have one churro type for the rest of your life, what would that be?
You know, I'd have to say classic, really.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if it was, decision must be made, this is the only one you can have for the rest of eternity, yeah, just give me the classic. Classic is good. A lot of the others I could see getting tired of it quick, but classic, it's classic for a reason.
So on the hub crawl, we had a conversation about churros because we were talking about the difference between Walt Disney World churros, which are awful, and the good churros that are at Disneyland. And we came to the conclusion that perhaps the world version is not as good because they have to deal with things like humidity.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
So the humidity and stuff might make it so like they
get chewy.
They get chewy or something, that they're not, because what's great about the Disneyland version is they're crunchy on the outside and soft and warm on the inside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you feel about how Tag and Teresa did? Do you have some great question burning away in your brain that you think might send me down another rabbit hole? Feel free to send that in to us at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like going to work on one Thursday morning and thinking to yourself, just one more day until Friday. But then somebody in the elevator says, Happy Friday! Then you check your phone quickly and discover today is actually Friday. So yes, Happy Friday, random stranger in the elevator. Happy Friday indeed. Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.